Alright, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Lesser Known Classics. This episode number 3208, Doubleshot number 3102. First up we have is a Scarlet Witch trade. Scarlet Witch Volume 5, yes, Volume 5, Queen of Chaos, which contains, I believe this is the first... I think it's like, let me take a look here at this one. I think it's like roughly the first 4 issues of Scarlet Witch Volume 4. Written by Steve Lana, art by Double Kogan. That's pretty much all 4 issues. Actually, those first 5 issues, excuse me. Really comes issue 5 is Lorenzo, Tamiya, and Rustler and Dakota's issue 3. So, like in the case of the previous volume, the first trade collects the first 5 issues. So we start off with Wanda meeting up with a demon that she met back in her sole annual for the book. Yeah, and by the way, her first and only annual to date. She also has a conversation with Darcy, when she goes back to her emporium, where she has meetings with various clients, like looking people. And you know, like everything is like back to normal after the Quicksilver Scarlet Witch miniseries. And then there's some action going, and of course something is happening. And of course they mention the events, like possibly the wizard from the wizard. And we have these creatures show up here too. And it turns out this guy who looks like pretty young, actually much older. It's like, yeah, so Wanda heals the demons, and of course basically heals the guy, and she heals the rest of stuff. And then for some weird reason, we have Mentor being crushed by a missile. Actually, more like some weird pillars that just pop up out of nowhere, and more creatures show up. It's like, and then we have, Darcy using the last door. That was a gimmick established by Steve Elena, where anybody who walks through the last door, it's a special case. And then we have Wanda basically eliminating people from the creatures inside. And then eventually the Darkhold is unleashed a little bit here. And then she ends up in like the nicest apartment in the building, where she just happens to land in a bed, and the occupants are Brother Quicksilver and Monette. Despite the fact, now I see this, I'm like, wait, why is he dating Monette for? I thought he was dating Emily, the girl he met in the Candy Humans book. And actually, it's not Wanda, it's actually Darcy. Yeah, and I love her reaction. Like, is that Monette St. Croix? You're out of your league, Pete. 2, Wanda's in trouble. So he goes help his sister, and fights off against another guy. Like, oh, we have basically like, yeah, go save his. That was all issue 1. All this event mentioned, that was all issue 1. And you have more, and then we see. Oh my gosh, it's it's this woman from Dan Slott's Silver Surfer book. I did not reading this again. I'm like, I did not expect to see her again, because that was the last time she was seen. Was the Dan Slott's Silver Surfer book? Like, Steve Elena must have randomly found this character lying in some drawer someplace, and my guess is because Slott wasn't using her. I guess he figured though. Why not? The Queen of Nevers! Yes, I was right. Dan Slott creation. She also apparently took up name of the Pilgrim in Defenders. Yeah, apparently Al Ewing decided to use her too. I kind of forgot she was actually in, because the debut wasn't Silver Surfer, and then she popped in Defenders. Apparently, she was also the Pilgrim, the sentient of the fourth cosmos, which is mentioned back in Uncanny. That's going to be Ultimates number 100. I'm like, that is so interesting. This really, the thing with the Queen of Navarre is that, yeah, she basically was a recurring character Dan Slott's run, lost her a couple issues of Ultimates, and then Al Ewing decided to use her for an issue of Defenders. Yeah, and then of course it's revealed Defenders Beyond that she actually was the Pilgrim. Yeah, and when she appeared in this book, this actually was the first time she's seen since Defenders, which actually came out in 2022, and the second issue here came out just about 2 years later. We also have this thing called this woman known as the Griever at the End of All Things, another Dan Slott creation, which Steve Orlando thought we're going to use this person. And her previous appearance was actually in the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver miniseries. Prior to that, with most all Dan Slott stuff, with the exception of her appearance in Future Foundation. She's here for the first issue of this book, but has not been seen since then. But the Queen of Navarre, gotta admit, basically, I did not expect to see his character again. But she's a cosmic character, and Wanda is more of a supernatural character. It just seems weird, but yeah, and of course they deal with this person here. And then Wanda's sister shows up, Polaris. Which, if you're really curious, did Polaris ever appear in any of the previous books? I believe she did. I know she did not appear in the first line for Scarlet Witch because that was published back in the 90s. Yes. Excuse me. But in my honest opinion, it's always good to see Polaris. It's just a shame, basically, like, a lot of the time, basically, some writers don't know what to do with her. Now, if you're really curious, prior to this book, she actually had just previously appeared, like, prior to issue 2, she had last appeared in the final issue of X-Men Volume 6, which came out in June. And this second issue here came out a month later. And then now she's currently appearing in X Factor. And the book just ended at issue 302. Why did it end? Low sales. Yeah, I do like the fact that it's her first non-X appearance in a while. I think the last non-X appearance was actually in Captain Marvel, which came out a year prior to this one. But the answer to the question, has she ever appeared in the Scarlet Witch title before? Well, she did not appear in Volume 3. As for the second volume, I don't remember her appearing in the previous volume per se for her. No, she never did. Yeah, this is the first time she appeared in the house. So you have all three offspring of Magneto appear here, take on this creature. And then we have this new villain who's kind of like a evil version of Scarlet Witch who pops up in this issue here. Like, yeah, and there's also this creature known as the Mordelin, who is a creature created by Al Ewing. Yes. Who had previously appeared in Defenders. Yes. Appeared in the opening 3 issues of Defenders as being a recurring character in New Avengers by Al Ewing. Then she appeared in these first two issues here. And then we have Lore. Lore is an evil version of Wanda Maximoff, who did debut in the opening volume for her. And apparently they had a look basically inspired by the MCU appearance. So, prior to this book, when she appeared in this very issue 3, last time she ever appeared was in the final issue of the first volume of Scarlet Witch back in 1994. So when that was in the book. So when she appeared here, this is the first time in 31 years anybody has seen this character. And then we have basically going to Europe, where they run into. You have Darcy running into. I don't think it's not Loki. Hexfinder. Yep, Hexfinder, who is a character who debuted in the previous volume of the book, who Steve Orlando decided to bring back for this book too. And after the next issue, she's not been seen since then. And of course, to help take out Lore. I guess the only reason why that she was called Lore because she's kind of like an evil one of Maximum anyways, so. And of course, they want to go through the last door, and then they kind of wrap this up here. And of course, we have her take on Mordred, who is a character she fought in the Quicksilver Scarlet Witch book. And after this issue here, after she's defeated, she's not seen again. After she supposedly is killed, and then has looks like a dinner with basically her siblings, which is really nice. And then at the end of issue 4, it's filled, Chthon is free. Yeah, Chthon was the one who she was talking to in the opening issue of this book. Of this volume anyways. Yes. Yeah. They have something said in the past, did with Wanda. There's some other guy. Chthon himself never actually returned after this issue. No, he just appeared in the opening issue of the book. He next appeared in the pages of Venom, issue of Mortal 4, and that's it. Issue 5, she has teamed up with Daredevil. Of course. Yep. I guess Steve Orlando was like, hey, why not? Let's have a team up with this character, because second volume was all about basically a lot of team-ups. It was a really cool aspect of it, plus multiple artists. And the book ends by having Wanda being confronted by her mentor, Agatha Harkness, who's now basically looking smoking hot, despite the fact previously appearing as an old lady. Yes. Now, the reason why that she's here, the reason why she looks like that, despite the fact that previously she was very old, out of universe, the reason why that they change her appearance is because it's the look she has in the MCU, so go with that. But the book itself was really good. I give the book roughly a 9 out of 10. Next up we have is Venom War, Wolverine, Deadpool. Which contains 3 miniseries: Wolverine Deadpool by Tim Seeley and Tony Felicis, Venom War Deadpool, written by, no surprise here, Colin Bunn. Artwork by Rob Baselvo, the first 2 issues, and issue 3 by Robert Matteo. Yeah, Colin Bunn, this actually was his first Deadpool miniseries he had done in years. Yes, I think the last officially here he did one, at the time I prior to this one, I think it was Deadpool vs. Carnage. Yes. And you also have Torn Gardick, who actually writes one last Carnage miniseries. So, first we start with Wolverine, where this whole 2-issue miniseries explains what the heck he was up to in the Venom War. So, we see at this diner. He just playing pool, and then the symbiotes show up and people get infected. Wolverine's fighting them off, of course. And he gets a flashback of when he was young, when he was basically like his early years. Then Yeah, and of course, this woman basically, Emily tells basically, apparently she's being chastised for daring to tell a kid do his homework. Yeah, and of course, Wolverine steps like, "Hey, Bob, you gotta be polite." The point. And then Wolverine proceeds to chop his finger off. And his hand. Yep, apparently she does remember him. So, yep, and it leads into more zombie stuff here. Wolverine has to kind of, in a way, kind of do a flashback. And then he just, for some reason, this guy is a complete dick. Keen just takes this guy and dumps him in the water. And apparently turns into a whirlpool. Because of that, he can pay, so... Yeah. Oh yeah, and apparently this guy is so bitter he basically just still messing arms, so he forwards and aligns with it with the zombites, basically the symbiotes make people the zombies. And then of course we have Jubilee and Nightcrawler show up here. And the guy is killed. And I look at this kid like, wait, this guy claims to be his father. He looks nothing like him at all. And then the kid proceeds to poke the guy's eyes, and of course they... Yeah, then... Oh, I kind of forgot there's 3 issues. Then we just kind of wrap the story up here. Like, well, issue 2 in, it seemed like that was the end. Nope, more zombie stuff, and, well... Cutting right through there, and... After doing all that, and of course eventually these things are finally stopped. And then we go to the Deadpool miniseries. I gotta admit, basically, for these tiny miniseries, it's only 3 issues, which is surprising. In fact, the main event is only 4. Yep. Yeah, starts out with Deadpool slicing and dicing the zombites. Yep. He goes right through them, of course. It's like he's having a lot of fun. At one point in this miniseries, he takes Princess, who is a symbiote, he possesses her, and then she possesses him for a while, become a host for a bit. And then he pays visits to Monster Metropolis, which he's not been here since Volume 8. I hope they got the power to go out again. That'd be so stupid. And of course, the Monster Squad. It's just really cool here. I gotta love this story here. It's awesome. Oh, good Wi-Fi is not good. Just okay. So yeah, work with the monsters, taking the zombites. Really cool here. Wolverine gets briefly possessed by it, which is not the first time it happened during the Venomverse story. And wraps in a little bow with basically the zombies, and that's it. It continues on also the main Deadpool book. And then come to Carnage. This will actually be Toronto Comics' exit from the character. Right, this miniseries, which basically this miniseries is basically this chronically is Cassidy exiting from Carnage, and the whole thing is like wrapping up that story, and basically the book serves as sort of a backdoor pilot to the Eddie Brock Carnage book by Charles Shaw, which I guess this Cassidy got tired of all the killing, so he proceeds to separate from Carnage. Thinking that, oh, you need me. He's like, no, you need me. And then Carnage symbiote leaves, and that's the reason why we have Eddie Brock as Carnage now. But that's kind of the gist of this miniseries. But all 3 miniseries really good. Get the book roughly a 9 out of 10. Yep, so yeah, that's a good view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up is I'm the evil lord of intergalactic empire. Okay, so bye.